Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. As many of you know, over the past few days, I've been trying to get to grips with the fact that I've lost one of my sisters. I had two sisters, Anne, who was coming up to her 70th birthday, and the other one's Juliet, or Julie as I call her. She's been helping out in the meanwhile. It's very, very difficult for all of us. Let me explain whilst we watch this battle featuring ProvoBob in the ELC EVEN 90. Now, my sister Anne actually has, or did have, advanced Parkinson's disease, and over the past few days or weeks, she'd actually been in hospital, mainly because she'd actually had a few falls, and that was down to a failure of coordination, which actually made her slip up and fall over. Now, apart from that, her blood pressure was also all over the place. It was even higher than mine, and mine is sky high as well. But her blood pressure had gone up as high as 200, and I think all of you know that you should only have 120/80. My blood pressure is about 180, but sometimes goes higher. But in my sister's case, it went really, really high. Well, what happened is my sister was due to come home from hospital on Friday during the day, and she died in hospital on Wednesday to Thursday during the day. Well, it was sometime during the morning on Wednesday night. And we're still trying to get to grips with what's happened, especially I feel so sad for my brother-in-law who's trying to cope with it all. And even the doctors do not know why she died. They can't be absolutely certain. So it's a bit of a shock for us all. And at the moment, I'm in a kind of a state of numbness or denial. And we're going through the various stages of grief, which I think most people know about. Oh, I think he got spotted. So it's very, very difficult for all of us at the moment, because one moment my sister was coming home, my big sister was coming home, and she did kind of look after me ever since my mother died 24 years ago. She was always there to look out for me because I'm not married and probably never will be married, and didn't have anyone else who was looking after me. So I do live on my own. But the thing is that she was acting like a surrogate mum, you might say, and taking care of me. And so it's a bit of a shock that she would die when we all thought that she was getting better and on her way home. As I said, it's even more of a shock when you consider that this was going to be her 70th birthday year and her 25th wedding anniversary, 50th wedding anniversary. Sorry, she was at her golden wedding, and and of course, on top of all that, her son, one of her sons, her eldest son actually, was getting married this year as well. Now, of course, she's not going to be there. But yes, it's a great deal of shock for all of us, really, at the moment. And that's why it's been difficult for me to do any videos for the past few days. And I do appreciate all of you who've sent messages of condolences, because it's easier to get through something like this when you know other people who've also been through the process know what is happening, and that they are also saying that we recognise what's going on. Of course, it does take a little while for anyone to get used to the fact that they've lost a family member. And over the next couple of weeks, I think it might be that I'll get used to it eventually. But anyway, so I will try and get as many replays done, videos done. I do have a long line of them to do. Hang on. He just got pushed out of a bush by a Conway. Not nice, Mr. Conway. Well, Bob been shoved out. And he's gone to try and do some spotting. I suspect that that Conway was probably trying to prompt him to go spotting for him anyway. So, yes, please be aware that I will try and get more videos done in the near future. And hopefully I'll have some news as well that, you know, to find out exactly why my sister died. So it's very, very strange for all of us at the moment, just trying to cope. But anyway, getting back to this game, we can see that the enemy's got an Object 263 over in the corner, and there was supposedly an Arty over there as well. GW Tiger. We're 2 down on the enemy at the moment. Things are not going well, and I think ProvoBob's decided that he needs to get back to his own cap to provide eyes for his teammates over there so that they can get shots on the enemy. We've just spotted a T10 and a 50 TP who just took 2 big hits. Oh, and the 53 TP has gone out the game. But we lost all the tanks that went down the west side of the map, and now we're trying to recover. Nice shot on the Contradictors, but it looks like he might have been double bush there, because I think there is a double bush next to this one. So that's why he wasn't spotted. And he gets another one. But now he's in full reload. Of course, the ELC EVEN 90s, you know, it's a tier 8 French premium light tank. Great camo. Not the best camo in the game, but it is very good. It's got a low pressure 90mm gun, which is capable of 220 alpha, and it will penetrate 175mm with standard ammo, and with the premium APCR it goes through 215. Now it's, as I said, a low pressure 90mm gun, which means that it's not as accurate at long range, and so it is better to try and get close hits on the enemy as you can, if you can. Because of course, remember, it's a tiny little thing. It's about the same size as a Fiat 500, and most of you know what a Fiat 500 car looks like and how small it is. It's tiny, absolutely tiny. Now the French actually built this tank with a variety of different guns. In fact, I believe there were 10 pilot vehicles with different armaments. They have one which actually had a 30mm, another which actually had 120mm. That was a recoilless rifles ×4. So 4 recoilless rifles outside the vehicle, 2 on either side. And they had to be reloaded outside the vehicle. So you'd have to drive until you could get into cover and then fire at them. They also had, as I said, the 30mm cannons. And they had another one which had missiles in it. So yes, it could actually fire a few missiles at the enemy and then quickly retreat and reload them. So it's an interesting tank because it was basically a jack of all trades, and they tried to make it so that it could be used for a variety of different purposes. Now, as I say, it has very good camo. You can sit really close to the enemy and they wouldn't spot you. And I remember when this first came out, it was in the pre-HD period, and the Salty Jedi actually had one of these. And I think I was in the same battle as he was in, and he was sitting just 50 meters away from the enemy. So he was on the auto-detect moment of being automatically spotted by virtue of the engine noise. And the enemy was almost sitting alongside him and didn't spot him. So it's amazingly good at hiding from the enemy. And of course, many of us have actually seen that game where Steve Walst was actually hiding within a twig within the cap area, and the enemy couldn't see him at all. and they were only slightly more than 50 meters away, and he managed to stay unspotted and then killed his own teammate. So he actually ended up being the last enemy alive, or last teammate alive, and picked up a Kolobanov medal against the enemy, and the enemy just could not see him at all. Anyway, looking at this game at the moment, the Chieftain is pushing our guys back on the east side of the map. We lost the mouse that was down there as well, but they are being fought back. There was a Wizzy 111 1 GFT down there, I think, at the moment. Well, I think ProvoBob's decided that he wants to go out and get some damage on the enemy. As you know, ProvoBob is actually in Australia. He does have a kangaroo on the side of the turret. And he actually used to be in the Provo Corps. That is, I believe he was a military policeman. So he'd go out and arrest the soldiers when they did wrong. And you know what Aussie soldiers can be like, very difficult. Well, he's come up behind the T-30, he's put one round in the rear, and another one, he's out the game. Now, he should pop the reload right now, because after all, he needs 3 shells. We do know where the GW Tiger was, because, ouch, we just ran into the rear of that wreck. And that GW Tiger should be down the south end, but of course he knows that where we are and what we just did, and therefore he's probably trying to get away as quickly as he can. Now, it's better to stay low so that you're not spotted by the enemy, because if the enemy Arty does see you coming, they'll try and get a shot off if they can. There he is. Okay, he's running for the middle of the map, trying to go down the gully, I think. And so his sudden loss of sound there. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to go up the middle, but I don't think he knows we're here. His sixth sense would have gone off a while back. And yes, he knows we're here now because he can see us. And the last shot to kill. And now he's got to reload a clip. Now, the nearest enemy tank to us at the moment is an Object 263. So it probably would be a good idea for ProvoBob to come at that guy from a different angle. He is a one-shot, but we don't really want to come directly towards him or go through the cap. And there he is! He's slightly off to our left. He's got minimal hit point. Oh, don't stop! No, don't stop! And we've been spotted!
We're dead for it. Everyone get out.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Oh, dear. Yeah, if you're in a ELC and the enemy sees you, keep moving. Your top speed is 70 kilometers an hour, and in fact you can go faster if you've got the right kit. But he stayed still, and that 263 just made mincemeat of him. So, as far as ProvoBob's concerned, the game is over, but it's not overall for everyone. So what we can do is go up this side of the map. The 263 did get wiped out. The enemy Canadian Jagdpanzer 105 has just got killed. As we're going up this side of the map, the enemy, or our own Arty actually, we're just overflown him. And this is, we're going over where the Contradictus was last seen. I'm not sure we're going to see him though, because there is a problem with the replay that obviously you don't get to see tanks that you couldn't see whilst you were alive in your little ELC. So we're not spotting them at the moment. And it looks like our teammates are actually making their way down towards the cap circle, because we've only got a minute to go. So I'm going to zoom over to that side of the map, and hopefully we'll get to see what's going on in the cap area. Looks like the Conway, the Wizzy 111 1FT, the Batchat 155-55, and the Mars are making their way towards the cap area. And yep, the Wizzy 111's gone into the cap. The Mars is not though. He's sitting up on top of the hill, and I think he's trying to act as the to try and shoot at anyone who turns up. Now, ideally, one of those tanks should sit in front of the enemy, and the Batchat does get a hit, but unfortunately the convoy goes down. T10 is now reloading. Hopefully the Mars will keep that T10 from pushing out again. Ideally, one of those tanks, especially the Wizzy, should get behind the wreck. But we've only got 8 seconds left. We've only got 2 in the cap, and it's not enough time to actually get a win. Yes, Batchat does it again, but the game is over. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first-class tank for ProvoBob in the ELC EVEN 90. He managed to get, this was his first-class tanker, because of course he has got the scrolls underneath. You only get those the first time. He got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, and he got an epic medal of patrol duty for being the only one spotting 6 enemy tanks whilst they were being damaged. His win rate was 3,557, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see that he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That went to the 50 TP on the enemy team, but he didn't get the high caliber because he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool. Was a tier 9 game. 3,534 went to the 50 TP, 3,041 went to the Cobra on our team. And the third highest damage, well, that turned out to be the Batchat 155.55, who managed 2,660 and got 2 nice shots in on that T10 right at the end of the game. When it came to kills, it was the T30 that ProvoBob got to wipe out. He got 4 kills in the game. 3 kills went to the Batchat 155.55 and to ProvoBob. And 2 kills went to the Cobra, the Conway, the AMX 65 ton, and on the enemy team, their 50 TP and their 263 both got 2. And when it came to base XP, that's ProvoBob. Yes, he got that one. 736 to him. 591 went to the 50 TP, and then 588 went to the Batchat 155.55. He only fired 9 shots, got 8 direct hits, and all of them penetrated, but he was using the premium rounds. 1,306 hit points of damage, of which 474 were at more than 300 meters, so just under 1,000 hit points of damage done at close range. 4 hits received from the enemy, and all 4 penetrated. The armor on this thing is diabolically light. As I did say, it's about the size of a Fiat 500, and it's about the same armor as a Fiat 500 as well. No, I'm joking. It's slightly more than that. It's about a centimeter thick, the armor all the way around. But yes, it's still very light. He spotted 7 enemy vehicles, damaged 4, killed 3, and he got 4,785 hit points of spotting assist in that game, which is a lot for a little light tank. He picked up 39,732 credits from that game, even though he did have to supply that premium ammo that he expended. He did get the Courageous Resistance, so he got 7,200 credits extra for that. And he also picked up 1,800 XP as well, including 413 Courageous Resistance out of that on top. So a good game for ProvoBob. I would have thought that he would have had an ace tanker by now, but this little ELC EVEN 90, a lot of people play it, a lot of people have it, and they tend to get the average for an ace tanker up a lot higher than most people think. And even getting in a triple mark is, or third mark of excellence, is really difficult. So it's going to take him a little while until he gets his third mark. But I hope that he keeps pushing the ELC, because then he might actually get an ace tanker if he carries on like this, because all it requires is to get a lot of assist, and you don't really even need to get any damage. Just assist is enough. You can rack up a massive amount. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that replay. I will give you an update as and when I can. And thank you to everybody who sent condolences over the loss of my sister. And hopefully, as time goes by, we'll get through the stages of grief. Thanks for watching.